Writing an agree-disagree essay for IELTS Writing Task 2 is hard. Many IELTS students have problems with agree-disagree questions because they don't know what they need to do to score high. And this is what I'm going to teach you in this video. We write a full essay for an agree-disagree question step by step, and I show you how to get a band 9. I show you what the IELTS examiner is looking for and how to include all that in your essay. By the way, guys, if you are going to take your IELTS soon, check out my IELTS materials. There, I teach you everything you need to score high. I show you step by step how to give high scoring answers. And of course, we do many practice tests together, so you will feel confident for your test. You can find the link below. And now let's get started. Let's have a look at the question. The question consists of two parts. First, there is a statement which says children should not have their own mobile phones or smartphones when they are in elementary school before grade 6. If you don't know what grade 6 means, this doesn't matter because the statement talks about elementary school, so you know that this is about younger children. That's all you need to know. Next, you can see a question that follows the statement. Do you agree or disagree with this statement? Give reasons for your answer and include any relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience. Now you know that this is an agree-disagree question because the question clearly asks you whether you agree or disagree with the statement. The instructions also tell you to write at least 250 words, so we have to keep this in mind. I am now going to show you how to write a high-scoring answer to this question. The first thing you must do is pick an opinion. You can say that you agree, disagree, or partly agree. It doesn't matter which view you choose. You are not scored on a right or wrong view. You are scored on how clearly you answer. So the important thing is to pick a view. If you go back and forth like, I think yes, but I also think no, the examiner will not understand if you really agree or not. And as a result, you will get a lower band score. Also, don't waste time on thinking of the best answer. Just select one that you can write about easily. I can see reasons young children should not have cell phones, but for this essay, I'm saying yes, kids should have mobile phones. After you pick a topic, you need to think of examples and take notes. Guys, this is super important. Some IELTS test takers like to start writing as soon as possible. Don't do that. You will waste time in the long run. You must think of ideas so you can write a well-structured answer that answers the question completely. If you take time to decide what to write, you will end up with a more organized essay. And that means you get a better band score. I'm now going to write down a couple reasons and examples to support my argument. This will help me later when I write the essay. My first reason why children should have mobile phones is the following. Kid doesn't feel excluded from group. If others have mobile phones, kids who don't have one may feel excluded. Another reason are study apps. They're useful, right? So I'm going to write study apps and math. And finally, mobile phones are important for communication. For example, if the child has an accident or is home alone. So I'm going to write communication and accidents and home alone. Actually, we only need two reasons. If you look at the question, you can see that it asks you to give reasons for your answer. This means that one reason is not enough. There must be at least two. Two is sufficient, so this is what we are going to do. The last two reasons here look easiest to write about, so I will pick those. Also, I think communication is most important, so I will put that first and talk about study apps after that. Now, let's write the essay. We will start with the introduction. There are two things that are important here. First, you have to paraphrase the original question. So, this one here. And second, you must give your viewpoint. If you don't, the examiner will not know whether you agree or not. So let's write the first sentence of the introduction. This is called the background statement. It tells the reader what your essay is about. Some people feel that children who have not reached 6th grade should be prohibited from carrying mobile devices. If you compare this sentence with the question, you can see that I have paraphrased it. Instead of in elementary school, this is what you can see here, before grade 6, I wrote children who have not reached 6th grade. And instead of not have, here, I wrote prohibited. Additionally, instead of mobile phones or smartphones, here, I say mobile devices, which is advanced vocabulary. Of course, you don't have to paraphrase every word. The idea of paraphrasing is to show the IELTS examiner that you understand the question and that you are not just copying down words that you don't understand. Another important point is that I start the background statement with "some people feel that." This is a great way of saying "some people think that." Many IELTS students use the verb think very often. So if you write feel, this makes you stand out. We will move on to the second sentence of the introduction. Here you need to state your opinion. This is also called the thesis statement. I'm going to write this down here. So this was the background statement here. And now comes the thesis statement. And this is where I start using my template. Templates are amazing and you should absolutely use them. They give you sentence starters that you can use in IELTS writing. The sentence starters include great vocabulary and organize your answer, which helps you get a high band score. When writing your answer, you simply write down the sentence starter and then you finish the sentence with ideas of your own that fit the topic you are given. To get all the templates you need, click on the link below and check out my IELTS materials. You can find templates for all IELTS writing tasks there. So for all charts in task 1, such as pie charts, line graphs, diagrams, and so on, and all questions in task 2. For example, agree-disagree questions, advantage-disadvantage questions, and much more. Now, let's write the second sentence using the sentence starter "in my opinion" from my template. I'm going to write, in my opinion, comma, this is important guys, you must put a comma here, supervised use is acceptable because smartphones are useful tools. As you can see here, I show my opinion clearly. I say is acceptable, so you know I disagree. I did qualify a bit though. I said supervised use to show that I think there should be restrictions. Now, let's go on with the first reason for my opinion. The question says, give reasons for your answer. Here, so you must absolutely do that. It's crucial that you use a new paragraph for this to show the IELTS examiner, look, now comes a new idea. So make sure that there is some space between the introduction and your first reason. Again, I remember my template and pick a sentence starter I like. I will choose the primary reason for, because primary is advanced vocabulary. It sounds fancier than first and it will increase my band score. So I'm going to write the primary reason for carrying a telephone is communication. And that is a valid reason for young children to have phones. As you can see here, I use a different word for mobile phones. The question said mobile phones. Here, I'm gonna choose a different color here. And I used telephone. Further, valid reason is a great expression because the word valid is advanced vocabulary. Always remember to use advanced vocabulary because this will make your score go up. Now, we should show why communication is important. So we need to specify what we are talking about. In particular, children can reach their parents or officials if they're home alone or outside playing and have an emergency. Another important part of organizing your ideas is to use linking words to show how ideas relate to each other. If you don't have linking words, the reader has no idea why you are discussing certain ideas. In particular, here is a linking phrase that shows that I think this idea is really important. It stresses that it is very valuable for children to have a phone in an emergency. Linking words are amazing because they make your band score go up, so you should absolutely use them. In IELTS writing, the examiner will use several scoring criteria when marking your essay, which include coherence and cohesion and lexical resource. Linking words get you points in these categories because they make your answer flow well and show that you have a broad range of vocabulary. This is how getting a high band score in IELTS Writing Task 2 works. You must tick all the boxes. I will use lots of linking words in this essay, so you can see how they are used. Now, we have told the IELTS examiner the first reason. What comes next is an example to support this reason. Remember that the question says, give reasons for your answer and include any relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience. You must absolutely give examples for your opinion. That's really, really important. If you don't give reasons or examples, you will not get over a band 5. If you give random examples that don't support your point, it will also lower your score. Therefore, we are now going to give an example to show the IELTS examiner we understand what the question asks us to do. We pick a useful sentence starter from the template, which is for example. For example shows that you are about to give an example, so the IELTS examiner knows what comes next. For example, my sister has a 10-year-old son who likes to ride his bicycle in the nearby park. And he carries a cell phone. So here you can see the sentence starter from the template, which is for example. And by the way, the primary reason for is also a template sentence starter. And now let's have a closer look at this sentence. I use a relative clause in this sentence to show the examiner that I know complex grammar. I write a 10-year-old son who likes to ride his bicycle in the nearby park. Make sure that you use relative clauses because this will make your band score go up. Now, let's tell a story to illustrate why carrying a cell phone can be important for children. Last summer, one of his friends fell off his bike and hit his head. My sister's son was able to use his phone to call an ambulance and my sister. Thanks to his fast response, adults came quickly, and the friend who had a concussion received the help he needed. As you can see, I don't give too much detail, but there is enough to understand why I talk about the boy riding bicycles in a park. It shows that the cell phone was important for dealing with an emergency. Here you can see that you don't need to write a lot to get your idea across. Another thing I'm doing here is using the past tense. Make sure you use different tenses in your essay, because this way you demonstrate that you know complex grammar. Here I write, one of his friends fell off his bike and hit his head. Fell and hit are in the past tense. I also use further verbs in the past tense. Was able, came, had, and received. An example can be up to about 4 sentences, but don't make them too long or the reader will forget the point you're trying to make. Now, it's essential that you end this first body paragraph with a concluding sentence to emphasize why this reason and example support your opinion. So I remember my template, which has a great linking word to start the concluding sentence. Hence, this is a very advanced word to conclude something. I'm going to write, hence, mobile devices are valuable for contacting others when needed. So, hence is the sentence starter from the template. And as you can see, here I use a synonym for mobile phones. I write mobile devices here. Also, valuable is an advanced vocabulary word that fits really well here. By the way, if you find this video helpful, hit the like button. Also, comment down below whether you want more sample answers for IELTS writing. Write yes if you want more. If you want me to talk about something else, tell me your video wish in the comments. Now, let's continue writing our essay. We will go on with the second reason. If you have a look at our notes, you can see that this is about the study apps. Since this is a new idea, you need to put this into a new paragraph. This makes sure that your essay has a good structure, which will get you points. Again, I think of my template and choose a high-scoring sentence starter. An additional reason for my stance is that most mobile devices have apps that can help children study. Now, one could argue that children may not use their mobile phone for studying, but will rather do other things, such as playing games. So it's clever to show the IELTS examiner that you have considered this argument and can refute it. This way, you ensure that you write a well-rounded essay. Granted, children might want to play video games, but parents can select a plan that limits access to unwanted programs. Granted is a linking word. It means admittedly. Here I admit that children may want to play video games on their mobile phones, but parents can limit this. And so my reason that mobile phones are useful for children because they can use study apps is valid. I also use advanced grammar here because I say might want to play video games. Might is a great word to express that something is not completely certain. And this makes your essay stronger because you say, okay, look, it might be like that, but it doesn't necessarily have to be like that. Let's continue with the next sentence. Parents can help select apps that fit a child's interest and skill level to supplement formal education in a school. As you can see, I use advanced vocabulary here. I use words such as select, skill level, supplement, and formal education. I want to mention a crucial point, guys. If you have a look at this sentence, you can see that it's very clear. You must write clearly in Task 2 in IELTS Writing. The examiner must understand what you are talking about. Avoid idioms and slang that you don't know well. They can really confuse your topic. And don't worry too much about making the text extremely difficult with the longest words possible. Vary your vocabulary, but be natural. Let me show you what happens if you don't write clearly. Have a look at this sentence. The progenitor of a minor who has not exceeded the 6th grade of elementary education can facilitate the selection process of particular smartphone applications that coincide with the interests and abilities of that young individual in order to act as a supplement to the formal education which is presented in the educational institution that a child attends. This is an extremely long sentence that doesn't do anything for your band score. I think you understand what I mean, right? I'm not sure what this sentence means, and I guess you're also wondering what this should tell you. It's very confusing. If you write like this, your score will go down. It won't go up. So don't do this. Next, we need to give a second example, because the question asks us to give examples. Here, guys, this is in the plural. Any relevant examples. So you need to give at least 2. So one example is not sufficient. The second example must support your second reason. Before I write about this example, I remember my template and make sure that I choose a different sentence starter. Don't use the same sentence starter you used for your first example, because then you don't show the IELTS examiner that you have a wide vocabulary. Instead, pick a different one to increase your band score. We have already used for example for the first example here. Where is it? Here. Here it says, for example. So now we have to choose a different one. I'm going to choose for instance to show that I have a broad vocabulary. I'm going to write, for instance, a young child who likes animals can learn more about math through a program that is set in a jungle and includes problems counting the animals. If you look at this sentence, you can see lots of different grammatical patterns. To get a high score on Task 2, you must vary sentence structures. If every sentence is the same, the essay is boring. You need to show off your language skills by using different sentence structures. That doesn't mean making every sentence as long as possible. It means to change the length of the sentences using different types of grammar. And this is what I've done here. First, a young child who likes animals is awesome because it uses a clause that starts with who. Here. To make a complex noun, you could just say a child can learn more about math, but by using a clause, you really show off your ability to modify nouns. I also write that is set in a jungle and includes problems counting the animals. This is also a modifier that refers to program. Here, the that refers to program. Again, here I show the IELTS examiner that I know complex grammar. Further, can learn is a conditional tense. It shows that something is possible, but not 100% sure to happen. Here you can see that you can change your verbs to make interesting sentences. Also, I joined 2 ideas using and. That is set in a jungle and includes problems counting the animals. And is an easy way to make a longer sentence. The thing is that when you join 2 verbs, they need to be the same tense. Is set and includes are both present tense verbs. This way you demonstrate that you know how to do this, which will improve your score. Next, we have to write a concluding sentence for this paragraph. I use a linking word from my template for this. Accordingly, educational apps can encourage creative thinking and nurture skills that will help in any career in the future. Here we have it again. Can encourage here is a conditional tense, which shows that it may be possible that educational apps encourage creative thinking, but it's not 100% sure. This is a great way to show off your grammar and to make your essay convincing, because you admit that it may not necessarily be like that, but it can be like that. Further, nurture is an advanced vocabulary word. In particular, here I use it together with skills, which is really advanced English. Finally, you have to write a conclusion for the whole essay. I picked the sentence starter in conclusion from my template to show the IELTS examiner that this is my conclusion. And don't forget to put this into a new paragraph. In conclusion, as long as they are monitored, children should be allowed to carry mobile devices before they reach 6th grade. And by the way, I forgot to highlight that accordingly is also from the template. This sums up my opinion nicely. Now, we have written the essay, but we are not done. When you have finished your essay, you must do two things. First, make sure that you have written over 250 words. The instructions tell you to write at least 250 words. That means over 250 words. Check to make sure you didn't write less. If you write too few, you won't get a full score. On the other hand, you don't have to write hundreds of words more. If you write too much, you're probably including too many unrelated details. The examiner will not understand your main point if you go off topic. My answer is 282 words. That's plenty to show off my vocabulary and grammar. Short and clear is best. The second thing you have to do after you have written your essay is proofread it. Read through to make sure you use punctuation correctly. Check whether you forgot a period at the end of a sentence. Also see how the ideas flow. You can add a linking word if the changes between ideas are too rough. Also, check whether your examples have too much detail. If you see repeated words, ask yourself whether you can paraphrase them or use a pronoun. If you fix mistakes, you can greatly improve your band score. It's really worth the effort. Lastly, let's sum up what you have to do to write a Band 9 answer for an agree-disagree question in IELTS Writing Task 2. First, pick a viewpoint. Second, take notes so you can write a well-structured essay. Write an introduction, 2 body paragraphs, and a conclusion. Don't forget to state 2 reasons and examples to support your opinion. Divide your essay into paragraphs so the structure is clear. Make sure you use lots of different linking words, advanced vocabulary, complex grammar, and vary sentence structures. Use templates to make sure you use high-scoring sentence starters that fit the question, a broad vocabulary, and the correct structure. To get all the templates you need, click on the link below and check out my IELTS materials. Finally, make sure that you write over 250 words. And don't forget to proofread your essay. That's it! That's how to write a Band 9 answer for an agree-disagree question in IELTS Writing Task 2. I hope you liked this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you're notified when the next video comes out. Also, share this video with your friends so they can improve their IELTS writing score too. See you in the next video!